A man is drowned in a tank of water, locked beneath a stage, in front of a cheering crowd who thinks it's all part of the show. Another man stands trial for his murder. But here's the question that will haunt you for the next 10 minutes. Did a murder even happen at all? And if it did, who really committed it? This is the story of two magicians. Two brilliant, obsessed men who started as friends and ended as each other's destruction. This is The Prestige. London, the late 1800s. The age of gaslight, top hats, and stage magic that could make audiences believe in the impossible. Two young men, Robert Angier and Alfred Borden, work together as plants in the audience for an aging magician's act. They're not stars yet. They're students, hungry, talented, and completely in love with the craft of illusion. They share something rare, a genuine friendship built on their mutual obsession with magic. But friendship, as we'll soon see, is a fragile thing when ego and ambition get involved. Everything changes the night Angier's wife, Julia, drowns during a trick gone wrong. She's tied up, submerged in a water tank, and she can't escape. Borden was the one tying the knot that night. And here's the detail that matters most. Borden used a different knot than usual. Was it a mistake? Or something worse? Angier believes with every fiber of his being that Borden killed his wife. Borden insists he doesn't even remember which knot he used. That uncertainty, that horrifying possibility that he might be guilty and not even know it, starts eating away at him too. From this moment, their friendship is gone. What replaces it is far more dangerous, an obsession with destroying each other. Angier becomes consumed by revenge. He starts sabotaging Borden's shows, disguised, standing in the crowd, waiting for the perfect moment to humiliate him. During one of these sabotage attempts, Borden performs his signature trick, catching a bullet in his hand. Except this time, Angier swaps the gun. Borden loses 2 fingers. Both men are now scarred, literally and emotionally, by their war. But here's where the story gets truly fascinating. Because this isn't just a rivalry over pride anymore. It's about magic itself. Specifically, one trick. Borden creates an illusion called the Transported Man. He steps into a door on one side of the stage and instantly reappears on the other side. No delay. No visible trick. It looks utterly impossible. Angier watches this performance and is left completely shattered, because he can't figure out how it's done. And for a man like Angier, not knowing is unbearable. He becomes desperate to discover Borden's secret. This desperation pushes him to hire Borden's stage engineer to spy, to plant fake diaries, to do anything necessary. Meanwhile, Borden falls in love and marries a woman named Sarah and has a daughter. But something is wrong in his home life. Sarah senses that Borden is lying to her about something. Not about affairs. About something deeper. Something about who he really is. Little did she know how right she was. Angier, still hunting for the secret of the Transported Man, hires a double to play his part in a rival version of the trick. It works on the surface, but Angier knows it's a cheap imitation. He wants the real answer. He wants it to be perfect. Not just to win, but because his need to understand it has become an addiction. Angier isn't chasing applause anymore. He's chasing revenge dressed up as ambition. This obsession leads him to a legendary and mysterious figure, Nikola Tesla, hiding away in Colorado Springs, working on experiments even scientists of the time considered impossible. Angier travels there, hoping Tesla can build him a machine that will let him recreate or surpass Borden's trick. This is where the real game begins. Tesla's assistant warns Angier, obsession has a price. Tesla himself, quietly haunted by his own conflicts with Thomas Edison, understand. Angier's hunger better than anyone. Eventually, Tesla succeeds in building a machine. But what it does is beyond anything Angier expected. And beyond anything the audience expects too. The machine doesn't just move objects. It duplicates them. Angier realizes what this means. If he steps onto that machine on stage, every night it won't teleport him. It will clone him. One version appears far across the stage instantly. But what happens to the original? This is where the emotional weight of the story deepens. because to make his trick work every night, one version of Angier has to disappear. Permanently. He has to sacrifice himself over and over, drowning beneath the stage in a locked tank, night after night, while his double takes the applause above. Angier convinces himself it's worth it, that the ecstasy of finally beating Borden justifies the horror of what he's doing to himself. This is where his humanity begins to disappear completely. Meanwhile, Borden's secret is unraveling too. His relationship with Sarah crumbles because she can feel that something about him shifts, day to day, like he's a different person depending on the moment. She's not wrong. Borden has a daughter he adores, an assistant named Fallon who's always nearby but never quite explained, and a personal life that seems fractured in ways nobody can fully understand. But the biggest twist is still waiting. Angier, deep in his campaign of vengeance, frames Borden for murder, his own murder. He submerges himself in the water tank as part of his final, greatest performance of the transported man, using Tesla's machine as always. But this time, the trapdoor beneath the tank malfunctions. Borden, backstage, is arrested for Angier's death, because to the world, it looks exactly like what happened to Angier's wife years earlier. A horrible symmetry, poetic and devastating. Borden is put on trial, and here, the mystery of his life is finally about to be answered. Because the truth is this: Alfred Borden was never one man. He was two, identical twin brothers, sharing one identity, one name, one life. Together, they built the transported man not through science or trickery of teleportation, but through the simplest, most devastating secret in the story. There were always two of them. One steps in the door on one side of the stage. The other, already in position, steps out on the other side. No machine, no magic, just twin brothers living a shared lie so convincing, they even shared a wife, a daughter, and an assistant, taking turns being Fallon and being Borden. Each of them living half a life so the illusion could feel real on stage and off. This is why Borden always seemed inconsistent. Why his love for Sarah felt real some days and cold on others. Why one twin loved his daughter completely, while the other resented the sacrifice of never having a full identity. One of the knots that killed Angier's wife may have been tied by the twin, who didn't fully love her, the way the other one did. That horrifying uncertainty was never a lie. It was literally two different men. Now, back in the present, one twin is arrested and sentenced to hang for Angier's murder, while the other must decide whether to save his daughter, take Angier's stolen identity, and disappear forever. And here is the final gut punch of the story. Angier isn't dead. Not entirely. We learn that every night, one Angier died in that tank so the other could take his bow. The man arrested and hanged in Borden's place is truly one of the Borden twins, a sacrifice made so the surviving twin could escape with his daughter. Because Angier, driven mad by guilt, ambition, and grief, used Borden's own trial as his final act of revenge. But Borden gets his revenge too. Before the twin is executed, he shoots Angier, ending the endless cycle of drowned clones once and for all. The final scene reveals the horrifying truth in full. Angier's basement is filled with tanks, dozens of them, each one containing the drowned body of a version of himself, sacrificed one after another, every single night, just so he could hear the audience gasp in amazement. That's the true cost of the prestige. Not a trick, not applause, a graveyard of himself. And that's the meaning behind the film's central idea. Every great magic trick has three parts. The pledge, where the magician shows you something ordinary. The turn, where he makes it do something extraordinary. And finally, the prestige, the moment you see something incredible, something that shouldn't be possible, and you don't even want to know how it's done. You just want to be amazed. But magic always has a price. Borden sacrificed half of his own identity, living as two men just to make one illusion feel real. Angier sacrificed his very body, again and again, until it became a horrifying obsession that consumed everything human in him. His marriage, his morality, his soul. This wasn't just a movie about magic. It was a story about obsession so powerful that both men sacrificed everything they loved, all for one final illusion. And in the end, the real trick wasn't the one on stage. It was the lie they told themselves that revenge could ever feel like victory.